Peace. Let's go through this degree right quick then. So, a degree called body health and stuff like that, physical composition. So, he's talking about 1 in 10 people suffer from autoimmune disease. It's rising fast. I would say due to the wheat, grain, soy, dairy, soy, and sugar that is contaminated with Monsanto and Bayer's products, pharmaceuticals and shit. So it even says rising fast among the adolescents. So you see, it says here in 1988 to 1991, estimated 22 million people between 12 and 19 years old have an autoimmune disease or had an autoimmune disease. For 2011, 2012, it rose to 41 million. All right, so it affects adults as well, and it affects the general manifestation. It seems to would be about the ages between 15 and 45. It also says about 75% of those affected are females. Wow, that didn't see that one coming, right? This destroys cells and brings inflammation, and in some cases can cause pain, quite severe. Yes, so wow, it's tearing up the cells. The thyroid has problem with the thyroid hormone. Well, it makes you have problems with it. All right, then it goes into the immune system locates foreign invaders. If a harmful bacteria comes, it's not you, it's the immune system that attacks it, right? Let's keep going. Then, okay, let's go to the leaky gut. That's what I like to talk about because that's the main character for us. Leaky gut, gut health. Man, listen, we got the toe up gut, right? So anyway, it goes on to say that there's something called leaky gut. It occurs more and more in our bodies today. And in this latest article, as I was saying, it's talking about the leaky gut and how you stop that. Same thing. No grain, no starch, no soy, no dairy, no sugar. That's the next hit. Do that. Right? And then what was the next one was how to address the autoimmune condition. Your body can actually repair itself if you stop putting the poison in. Now, the reason why we use the words grain, starch, soy, dairy, sugar is because until you get sophisticated enough to understand which grains are right and exactly on which ones aren't, which most of them I would say, go paleo and don't do grain at all. That would put you right back on where you should be at with the quickness. And so, all right, then you got to talk about the toxins. Right, so we're going to go into the toxins now. So we need to look into the toxic load of the way the food is processed. And so it's just doing you in, the water in you. It's just too much. So if you want to get rid of the toxins, you got to look at things like green. Green will pull the toxins out of you. Right, it says right here, even here it says water, but you shouldn't be drinking the water out the sink. And then eat only organic. That's what it says, right? If you're going to eat the animals, you go with the grass-fed, split-hoof, chewer cud. If you go with the birds, it's better to go with the pheasant, quail, them. Don't do any processed sugars, any processed foods. That'll put toxins right back in you. You could also check for mold in your house. That could give you toxins. Too much alcoholic beverages, that ain't good. And if you're going to drink the alcoholic beverages, drink the ones that are made from the desert or honey. Honey desert plants, no fruit of the vine. Don't use grapes and all those kind of, and potato and, see, that's right back to starch. No starch for fermentation, no grain for fermentation. All right. If you work somewhere that exposes you to toxins, yeah, I don't really know. It's like the planet is exposing you to toxins. But if you don't eat the toxins, your body can fight them off a lot easier than if you consume them. It's like, oh man, you just took us to the next level once you consume them. So it goes back to the point I was making where they keep talking about taking the devil off your planet. Understanding that what? Cipher. To understand the cipher, you got to get that universal non-equality rule, non-divine equality rule. I say the truth now. God, right? Once you get to that level, you'll be taking it to the next level once you do that. Because it just takes 3 days. That's why he keeps saying understanding the cipher. Those last 3 days of the month, you would have been banging them in the head. According to the old rules and regulations, which are not being made manifest nowadays, but they still exist. We still know about the old rules. We just, don't do them. We could do them. It's not hard to do them. But you could do them right now. You could go by the old rules. And 3 meals. 3 meals a day is the colonizer's ideology. And the original people's ideology, out of degrees, is dealing with 1 meal a day. See the difference? So you got 1 meal a day versus 3 to 4 meals a day with snacks in between. That old good shit, right? So let's just start looking at things like early growers only replanted the seeds of plants with bigger kernels and longer carbs. And so they didn't genetically modify the food. They bred it and crossbred and cultivated and trained it. They did things like that. You know that. They did that because that's why when you look at if you go through history, you'll start seeing that the domestication of plants and animals. That makes it so you don't have to be a nomadic people. That's what it helps. You're not nomadic now. Once you're not nomadic, that changes everything, because now I'm not saying that you don't have time to read when you're not nomadic. When you're nomadic. But you definitely have more time to read when you're not nomadic, because you're not constantly on the go preparing for the next move and this, that, and the third, right? Say I was standing in one spot and I'm trying to get to the next place. Once the movement it's engaged, you're engaged now, right? So it's like universal now, divine equality, rule, savior, truth, Allah now, divine, I now, God. You move in that way. So you go in knowledge and the power. And once you knowledge the power, you're going to see equality. Well, right there, when you go to equality, it's going to make you go to knowledge added on to a cipher if you stay in the mathematical equation of it. And then you'll see knowledge, and then you'll see wisdom. Going that way, you could go that way with it. But both parties, wisdom or the I mean, the equality or the wisdom, because you know that's how it came out. It came out from the equality, and then from the equality you saw the knowledge added onto it, the knowledge added onto a cipher, which would take you to the Earth, right, 93 million miles away from the sun. You say, oh, how do you get to the Earth from 110? Well, if you go through your mathematics and you say 110, actual facts is 110, right? Earth is 19 million miles away from the sun. That's why I'm saying if you use the lessons, you could correlate and you could travel up and down the degrees, make it walk and talk. See how I just did that from just going from the understanding cipher. Right, I'll do it again for you, right? So you went from the understanding cipher and you saw just the understanding. We just looking at the understanding. The cipher is still there. We didn't even go to the cipher. We would go through it with the cipher too, because the cipher could take you to Power Barn. And then you go to the 59th Street Circle, you know, in Manhattan. See how they made 59th Street, and then they made it a 5 and a 9, and it's a cipher. She had a correlation of the circle. That's how you see it. So these are the exercises that take you places that you may not want to go there, or you didn't think to go there, or you wasn't going to go there. But the math took you there, right? So like the math will take you to the understanding what is the population of the original nation in the wilderness of North America and all over the planet Earth. So now that would make my mind say, look at all the lamb's wool on the planet Earth right now. How many of people with lamb's wool on Earth? And then we could say, let's see, on Earth, because we're so busy looking at ourselves based on the nationalities that the UN gave us, instead of looking at our ancient nationality. And the only way I could get you as close to understanding your ancient nationality is to let you see your culture and your creed, and your lamb's wool is what gives it away. The strongest lamb's wool all the way to the weakest lamb's wool. You are one people, and you're the most diverse because you're the foundation to the planet. You and her together, right? I like the way that new group. I don't know if they're a group. I may not know what they really are, but the principle that they had is what I saw. And he said, God, man, woman, child. Now, you telling me that doesn't fit right in the mathematical equation, right? It fits right in properly. You might have to add on to the cipher and go into, because see, look, if you're in the cipher, right, and you saying understanding the cipher, but you in the knowledge cipher, right? Yeah, because you're in the knowledge cipher. So when you're in the student enrollment, and you won't see the cipher. Where is the cipher there? Unless you go to Power Born, then you could go, well, cipher itself, Born's Power Born. So then I could go to the power and go, what is the area square miles of the planet Earth? And then Born would give you, what is it said, birth record nation. So everybody, when they start, we all start from knowledge added on to a cipher in the student enrollment. But when we get to the English C lesson, some people get to the 1 to 14. So if you count that up, so take 14 from the top, or for that one. And so their first one going on the next side is, are there any Muslims other than righteous? Is 15 to you. But there's, see, and then it catches up. Everybody catch up in the knowledge-free ciphers. We always catch up By the time you get from in 120, by the time you hit build, by the time you hit the build or destroy degree in the 1 to 40, everybody catch up, right? Because the God even said it. He said, by the time we all hit the 8th degree, we all catch up. Put that to the test. That's what the God said. We all catch up. By the time you start building, we catch up. So then the next big move, like we always would go to 76. We would go to 76 because it's like you need to go to 76 before you bang them with 77. But it sounds better when you start off with but bring rain, hail, snow, and earthquake. But because of the way the degrees was set up on the page, we would always start up with tell us, why does the devil teach that? Because of the way the page is going from 72 to 77. So that's how we would do that. But I'm just showing you how the correlation would make us for today's not the man. So that way we would have went through a lot of. So when you got up and you said how you saw today's mathematics, you might say, yeah, I saw it as understand the cipher, bringing it to understanding. However you worded it to get to the understanding. You added it up, whatever case may be, right? Anyway, you got to the understanding. That's usually what they would go down to the common denominator and get to the understanding, because understanding the cipher. Unless they wanted to really go in like Father Divine and them would do, they might go right straight into tell us what and how the devil is made. And then be building for like hours on just that degree. Right? Because I seen God get real deep on showing you how to make devil. And then he said, so tell us what and how to make God. And then catch you out there because you can't make God. God is created. He's the creator. See what I'm saying? So we would just be going back and forth, but that's just sharpening the sword, letting you show and prove God's cipher divine and physical composition is not the mathematical equation. The true and living is just manifested on this physical plane of existence and like that, right? So we still would be on that understanding the cipher, right? Because we would have been in tell us what and how the devil is made. See how you can just keep building and adding on? So, right, you could go from where that is. All right, say we way past now that level where we done did that all day. And so now we start going into the equation itself, right? So we might go, all right, so you're going to cross-reference. Because how are you going to get there? Like, how do you get to these places you want to get based on the understanding of the cipher if you let the cipher carry you? Right? So sooner or later, you're going to get to, that's why I like the big numbers when you get to the knowledge, power, cipher, right? When you get to the big number, because there's not a lot of those numbers that are that big, where they got a whole cross number. You had to go into your alphabets to get those real big ones, because the math only has, like, destroy is 106, refinement is 109, and, like, the culture being that it's the culture I God, right? It's easy to go from the culture I God and go right into what will be your reward in regards to the destruction of the devil. See what I'm saying? How you travel right there like that. So automatically that makes you say, we're going to take the devil off our planet. It makes me go right back to the beginning and say, well, the foundation, where do we go from the foundation? We do that 3-day fast. That's the opening run. I didn't see that there was another opening run. I didn't see it anywhere else. I just saw that was the opening run. What I mean by I didn't see it anywhere else is I didn't see anybody that had knowledge of self that didn't have a dietary law, but they may not have it precisely set up to fix the physical composition, change the convolutions on the brain, and these things. That's so you quoting the degrees, yes, you're quoting them, and then what? Now let's get into the nitty gritty of it. Because once you do that, right? Because it's understanding the cipher, so we can easily go into what is the population. So what we could, if you was doing understanding the cipher, you was saying the census. You could check the census. You could actually do it. I mean, you wanted to do it the hard way. It would be easier to go to each country, state, city, area like that and see what their data says rather than trying to look at it as a whole group and then cross-reference that. But that would be a job all by itself, checking out the different nationalities, cultures, creeds, this, that, and what have you, right? See how that's a whole study all by itself on understanding the cipher, and you're just dealing with the understanding of the understanding degree in the 1 to 10. So that's why you need it in your brain, because as you traveling all over the planet and you see certain things that trigger a degree, and then you'll know what to look at and what not to look at, and what's the filter system and what isn't the filter system. And because it's almost the same way when he said no, the trader disappeared. There was no one that could speak their language. You could go a lot of places with that language part right there, right? Like, language makes me automatically say English. English, see, lesson number 1 in language. We know that the British, Britain, England, English. Look, go watch. This is the assignment. Go watch, what is it? Black Knight? Dark Knight? The Black Knight? With the one with, what's that boy name? Well, he's a grown-ass man, but he was a young boy then when he did that, Martin Lawrence. Right? When Martin Lawrence, did the Knight, he was a knight, right? And I don't know if it was called Black Knight. I think it was called Black Knight. But anyway, he goes back in time. And I always remember that part with the number. He was saying, anyway, I'll give you my number. Anybody got a pen? And she says, you could write? He's like, Ma, you got to raise the bar. But I said that to say that because of the way the new modern day is, everything the way it is now, the way it's moving right now, and the way everybody is doing what they're doing, like, I mean, little simple shit like now they not really on, everybody's not really on Facebook, everybody's really on Instagram. I can go all the way back to MySpace, but I'm just saying how the times they're moving. Like them little wearing Pee Wee Herman clothes. It was going on for a little while, and then it's like people don't really want to look like Pee Wee Herman anymore. Well, the young people don't, because the old people wasn't trying to look like Pee Wee Herman. I know my group, they're for sure. Unless they was, when they get in that crisis part, they might. That's only because they don't be knowing what to do. They gotta, when they get out their gear, they had the dad body. But if you went with the If you went with the 120 dietary law, you wouldn't have that dead body. That won't come. Like, you could get rid of it right now just doing it. Like, it'll just fall off with its own. You don't have to do no extra shit. Like, you might say, well, I really don't want to work out no more. I'll just walk and this, that, and the third, and Yeah, you could do that, right? And you would still come out all right if you really was doing what you're supposed to have done with the food. Like, there's a replacement for the not right and exact food, right? And see, what happened, it's almost like, okay, when Columbus discovered the poor part of the planet for the Europeans, and he was doing what he was doing to them, and then cross-referencing this and doing that, and you know how Christopher was. He was a straight-up murderer, right? And so they programmed us to believe he was right and exact. But at the end of the day, he still, was doing what he was doing to help the colonizer colonize you. See? So the math would have brought you there. It would make you say, well, who is this conquistador guy? And what did he do? And this, that, and the third. Let's see what the history is from Alaska to Chile in the paleo days. Because you start talking about 16,000 years ago. Shoot. You start talking about, what was they calling them? Clovis and all that. They start going into that, right? With their side of the anthropology. We know it's the mounds and this, that, and the third, right? We know it's that. But they want to tell their part of the story. But that's where understanding would have brought you if you was looking at the knowledge, culture, and you was looking at the understanding degree in it. But inside of looking at that understanding degree is still going to make you see the culture born in 120 if you quoted it that way. You can't help it when you see understanding, you see culture born. That's why when he wrote down culture born equal understanding, he had an equal to it, and they was going, you can't show and prove that. And he just laughed and kept on going. I was laughing because he was in the car. And when he said it, I said, oh, yeah. In 120, culture born is understanding. And in 114, he said, oh, that's what he meant. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's why he said culture born equal understanding. And they was going, oh, culture born equal to understanding. Now, cipher, Lord. Right? Because they was adding it up. And they was going, nah, it's knowledge understanding. It's knowledge understanding. And then that knowledge understanding going to bring about the culture. How'd you get to the understanding? How you made it equal? He said, I didn't say it borns that. I said it's equal. Equal, son. Like power cipher is equal to the culture. Because why did we run Yaqub and his made devil from the root of civilization over the hot Arabian desert to the caves of West Asia they now call it Europe? What is the meaning of EU and ROPE? How long ago? And what did the devil bring with him? What kind of life did the devil live then, and how long before Moose? I can't teach him up there for God, trick, nah. Now, just right there alone, we just go right on Musa. We can go 2, 3, 4 different ways with that, right? Because we can go Musa, let's go with the first 5 books if we was going to go with him, and go right on Leviticus and go Leviticus 11. There's your dietary, Lord. Use that. How'd you get there? That's how I got there. That's a good way to get there. How I actually got there. But I'm saying that's a good way to get there. You could travel that way and get there. Hell, you could also go from Musa to going further into the degree and end up going into the protocols. And then you could go into, from there, you could also go back to Musa again and go, oh, wait, we not finished yet. Let's go into showing and proving that no tombs. Right? No tombs, no physical grave. And then we could go zodiac, and then we could go constellations in the hemisphere, the universe. Because it could be connected to the sun, moon, and stars as far as the story is concerned. And then we could also go into, oh man, that's going to take us there, man. I didn't want to go there, but you could. It would make me think of that if I was going to go into, as soon as you start studying deep into the Hebrew and you go into Paleo Hebrew, but at the beginning you won't know. But by the time you get to Paleo Hebrew, then you'll look back and go, oh, then you'll see what happened. You'll know it from my perspective. Now you'll say, oh, that's the next hit. Then you'll be saying, Hebrew is not Jew and Jew is not Hebrew. Those are two different people, but they might be studying the same stuff. They may see things differently, but they might be looking at the same degree to a certain degree, right? It's almost the same as when the Ku Klux Klan is Christians, they Protestant, see? And the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope and them are the Roman Catholic Church, and the Protestant movement is really Martin Luther, right? And then you go Wycliffe would be 551. See how did we get to that? Why did we go to 551? It just made you go there, right? You didn't make yourself go there. It led you there. It wanted you to see that. That's how it works. Just like it wanted you to see this 16,000 years ago. It wanted you to see that. Right? It wanted you to see the power born. Because if the cipher understand the cipher going to take you to power born, right? And remember I was saying how he said, God, man, woman, child, right? And then that automatically made me look at the four, where you go man, woman, boy, girl. And then the holy four, right? And the Trinity is the man, woman, child, right? That Trinity. And then you have the 59, which is the cipher, which we was just building on, right? Automatically make me see knowledge, understanding. And if you see knowledge, understanding, you old school, you automatically think of Clarence 13X. And why was they calling him 13X? And we used to say because he was the only Muslim knowledge and understanding that was unknown. Remember that? We used to say that? And then, we know he was the 13th Muslim that was named Clarence. We knew it, but we were showing and proving through the lesson that look how history made itself manifest, and not a brick shall be left standing. That kind of degree, right? But anyway, take you back to that born power. When you're in that born power, right? And it say you're in the born power. Pardon me, you in power born, right? Why I say that born power? Oh, that was going in the other way, the other direction, right? And so, oh, my bad. Wait, hold on. Right. And so, when you go, all right, we're going to look at that right quick, right? So, say you in power born, right? Since we said power born, let's see why we went to power born, right? And so, if you go to power born, that would be the reverse of, hey, that's another thing they used to do that sometime. Well, look at it in reverse, because you might go devil and live, right? And so if he went to power born, it might ask, well, the reason why it would correlate is because it's trying to tell you the exact date of expiration of double civilization, which is going to give you a key number like 1914 is equal to 15,000, Right? 14,999 is 1913. So that might take you there if you wanted to go look at the Asiatic calendar, which you could have saw that in the first degree, right? Right? If you would have went to the first degree in the 1 to 40, you'll see the calendar there too, because every 25,000 years, thus every time this history lasts 25,000 years, he renews it for another 25,000 years. That's the last sentence in first degree in the 1 to 40, right? That's how they would be saying, hey, give me the last sentence. I probably could pull it out of my brain, all of them that way. If I went back to doing that, I didn't have, because in the beginning, we didn't have all those books and everything. So we were really dissecting 120. For some reason, we like to look and see what's the last sentence and what's the first sentence, correlation. That's what I learned, that correlation, because you need to correlate, especially as an exercise. Like it's like training. Like you learning art and you train. That's what you do. You train. You take the form or the kata and you train. You use that to train. You do the form and the kata and then you go train, spar, and things of that nature. See what I'm saying? Same thing. Right? Because you want to elevate. You don't want to be stagnated. You want to elevate. So you want to go and look at it in all its totality. So, like I said, if you understand in the cipher, you could look through your math in your head. If you was looking through, you would say, all right, in my brain, because you would be quoting on those degrees, you would say to yourself, wow, that's deep. That the only way, like as a straight number, that you're going to be able to see, understanding the cipher, is if you go to the math in the calendar, because it's not going to show up on its own in the math, not straight out at you. It's not going to just come out like that. That's not how it works. It picks the numbers it wants you to go at right away. Like, when you look at it yourself, you see it. You go, oh, it wanted me to go there. It tells you where to go. The math tells you where to go. And just follow it, and you'll be successful. Divine understanding, born of law. You know how we do it. Set the record straight. Ancient, free Asiatics, and I'm out. Peace.